They saved their best for last in Matchday 6 of the European journey this season. One team will go on past Christmas, two others, well, they end it pretty good with Celtic and Aberdeen. But hell, this coefficient needed this because it's just not been good enough all round across the board. I mean, who would you say has been the biggest flop in the group stages?
Celtic?
Yeah, it has been Celtic. It has been Celtic. Undoubtedly, it's been Celtic. I mean, we talked about in the Aberdeen review, right? I said that Aberdeen have honestly impressed me more than Rangers, but Rangers just went and beat Real Betis, so I'm going to have to retract that and say, well, you know what? Rangers topped the group, despite only picking up 1 point against Aris Limassol, so fuck it. I'm going to change my vote for Aberdeen and give it to Rangers. But in terms of who's last, it's got to be Celtic. There's no excuse for Celtic going into this last game with nothing to play for.
No, but I knew it would happen. Did say it. That their most winnable game, unfortunately for them, was their last game. Would Celtic's Champions League campaign had turned out differently? Let's say, for example, had this been match day 1 and they could have got off to a win, they could have got off to a good start. That's definitely possible. Plus, when you think about it, I think Celtic's first 2 games, especially the one that's the first 2 games, especially the Lazio game, they were unlucky to have no points after that. So, yeah, you start your first 2 games with no points, you're playing catch up. Had this Feyenoord game happened first and Celtic off to a win, 3 points, then, I mean, maybe the rest of the group would have panned out differently.
It's if buts maybes. I mean, Feyenoord, they might have beat Celtic if it was the first game. Well, they did beat Celtic, they beat them 2-0. You can't say, maybe Feyenoord, it was a dead rubber game, so maybe if Feyenoord was this the first match, they would have been up for it a bit more, but Celtic won, first Champions League home win in a decade. I mean, that's not good enough considering how many times Celtic have actually been in the competition, but they've won. Palma and Lagerbielke, I think this just proves why Lagerbielke not been playing for Celtic, not just his goal, but I think he came on, he did a good job. I think he's better than Nat Phillips. I'm assuming the Rocky's better than Nat Phillips, but Big Brendan gets it wrong.
Big Brendan gets it wrong, but he got it right here, so he got a win, although unfortunately for him, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does boost the coefficient a little bit, and it gets that whole bad Champions League record, European record off Celtic's back, so maybe now maybe they'll go into European football next year with a bit of confidence, not having that whole haven't been able to win a game thing going on. So
and they improved on their Brendan had a better Champions League campaign than Ange. Can't lie. Numbers don't lie.
Points wise, yeah.
Points wise. Anyway, let's look at Aberdeen because they defeated Frankfurt 2-0. And I mean, what a game, what a result. No one's seen this coming. I predicted 4-0 Frankfurt, which I thought was pretty fair.
Well, after they beat Bayern Munich, I think that everyone was assuming that. But big win for Aberdeen. And then you know what? A deserved win. Even though they didn't have the majority of the possession and Frankfurt had more shots and stuff, I think the way Aberdeen played, I think they deserved the win. Defended really well. Roos made a couple of good saves and Aberdeen took their chances going forward. So, for me, you can't expect Aberdeen to be the dominant side. No one's expecting Aberdeen to have more shots, more chances, more opportunities. But they took their opportunities when it mattered. Goals for Luis Lopez, a.k.a. Duke, and Sokler, giving Aberdeen the win. And a great win, one of the best wins, in my opinion, for a Scottish team in a very long time. And Aberdeen's probably best European win since 80s.
It probably is, and for me, I was a lot of hate on Aberdeen. They only try against Rangers. I'll call a spade a spade. They've been pretty good in their 6 European games. Yes, they only got third, right? No one's saying that, but they should have got a win earlier. And I think for even the most biased Rangers fan, we all hate Aberdeen, but you cannot say Aberdeen have been bad and not tried in Europe. Because if Aberdeen didn't try against Frankfurt and PAC, they'd have got scudded. They actually beat Frankfurt on head to head. If they were against Frankfurt in a knockout tie, they'd have knocked Frankfurt out.
Yep, better aggregate scoreline. 3-2 Aberdeen? Aye, 3-2 Aberdeen. So
3-2 Aberdeen. You can't dispute that. I think they got robbed at Pataudry against PAC. Against Helsinki, the first game, I thought they were unlucky. The second game, you said in the snow they missed a lot of chances. And then I think away in PAC, they got a draw, but I think they probably might not have deserved that, but hey, they deserved a better luck. But I would overall say it's been a pretty great campaign for Aberdeen without the results.
Yeah, the performances, I think they deserve more points than they actually got. Performance-wise, I think they should have got more points on the board.
No one expected Aberdeen to go through.
Yeah, and who knows if they could have got a couple of. Even if they got one win against Helsinki, and if they'd have won that game they were robbed against in Pack, that would have been enough to put them above Pack. So, but also it didn't help when Pack beat Frankfurt early in the group. That was a bit of a bummer for them. So
Yeah, and you look at other teams in Scottish football, they did a better job. I'm not talking about the Old Firm, I'm talking about Hearts, Hibs, St Mirren. I don't think they would have. And Rangers and Celtic, hell, it's even questionable if they could have done a better job. Like I said earlier in the Aberdeen review, I do think that the Rangers Europa League group and this group has similarities in it. But regardless, Celtic, what would they have done? They probably would have bottled it. But if we go into the final game, Rangers, great. This is, first win on Spanish soil. Great victory for Rangers. Great going forward. Defensively, I thought it was shocking first half. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that it wasn't. I get it, there's injuries, right? But if we're being brutally honest about the injuries, they're not affecting defensive positions. You've got Butland, you've got Barisic, Davies, Goldson, Tav. Balogun can't play because Beale, for some fucking reason, didn't include Balogun in the squad. And I believe Suter was on the bench. He was. So the injuries don't affect them defensively, so I'm not buying that excuse for that. Because it's not like the midfield or the attack cost any of the 2 goals. It was all Goldson and Tav. Alright, maybe McCausland on the first one.
well, to be fair, that's normally where the mistakes come from. The right hand side, the beloved right hand side that you praise all the time and say Tav's brilliant and all this stuff. Like
he is, but he should be. He's not a fullback, man. He should be a right mid.
Well, all I know is tonight Tav Goldson didn't really cover themselves in much glory.
All I know is Goldson's fucking prone to costing a goal in Seville for Rangers. They did in that Europa League final.
That came for the right as well.
I know, but he's fucking letting. I can't go for that. He could have cleared it. No, but leave it for Bassey. But Rangers won. Seema, Desser's roof. Desser's his best performance. Lammers is 10 men. I think Lammers is. It's not an over exaggeration when you say Rangers down 10 men with a guy. He's a guy that's just going to pass it away, give it away on every opportunity, and that's what he does. Roof, step him up, getting a goal, but he'll be injured probably come Sunday. And after, like we said, Celtic and Aberdeen winning, Rangers really need it to win this game, because if Rangers lost this game, the momentum that Celtic had arguably lost with Kelly, that win against Feyenoord could help them in Aberdeen going into Sunday beating Frankfurt, but Rangers bounced back big time, needed it, got it, and they won when it mattered. This wasn't a dead rubber, it was all on the line. And to all the Celtic fans saying that Real Betis weren't that bothered and weren't even trying, why wouldn't they try?
Yeah, Real Betis had more at stake than Feyenoord, I believe.
Yeah,
Feyenoord couldn't catch. Feyenoord was a dead rubber. I'm pretty sure they couldn't get top 2 and they couldn't fall behind Celtic, whereas Real Betis, depending on results tonight, had they lost and Sparta Prague won, which was likely, then they could have dropped not only out of first place, but out into the Europa Conference League. So, and they're at home, they just came off a good draw against Real Madrid here. Last thing Real Betis wanted was to get knocked down a peg in European competition. So, to suggest that Real Betis weren't bothered tonight is fucking insane.
It is. That's the obsessed for you. But that is it for the review show. Last ever review show until March the 15th, 14th. There's only one team left. Is it much of a review show?
No, we'll just have to cover the English teams as well. Fuck,
we'll throw them in. An all-English final. Could it be an all-English final? I mean, Rangers could be going in there. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, Brighton, West Ham, Liverpool. Would you fancy Rangers against any of those 3?
Aye. Battle of Britain. I'd go for it.
It's Liverpool. I think Liverpool win the Europa League. I hope Liverpool get knocked out for Rangers. I have to worry about them. But anyway, guys, that's it for the review show. Till next time. Peace.